So, you're getting ready for the IELTS exam, and you feel like your score has just hit a wall. You're not alone, I promise. Today, we're going to dive into one of the most powerful ways to smash through those barriers and finally unlock the score you really deserve. Does this sound familiar? You're studying like crazy, you're practicing all the time, but that score just will not budge? It is so frustrating, and so many dedicated learners go through this. You might think the problem is some complex grammar rule, but the real reason might just be hiding in plain sight.
Yup, you heard that right. The words you're using, or maybe the words you keep overusing, could be the very thing holding your score back. But here's the good news. This isn't about memorizing thousands of brand new words. It's about being smart and strategically upgrading the words you already know.
You know, there's actually a name for this feeling. It's called the vocabulary plateau. It's that point where it feels like your learning has just stalled out, and you find yourself reaching for the same simple, safe, and honestly kind of unimpressive words over and over again. But hey, every plateau is just a launch pad to the next peak.
Just look at the difference here. I mean, it's night and day, right? The movie was good. Okay, that's fine. It tells me nothing. But the film was riveting? Wow, that paints a picture. It tells me you couldn't look away. Same thing with important. Saying the issue is paramount tells the examiner that you don't just see it as important, you see it as the most important thing. It shows a whole other level of understanding.
Let's just put ourselves in the examiner's shoes for a minute. Imagine reading hundreds of essays, all on the same topic. If everyone just says things are good, bad, or important, it all just blends into this one big, boring soup. Using precise, sophisticated language is what makes your response pop. It's what makes them sit up and think, okay, this person really knows their stuff. So the very first step is just admitting to yourself, you know what? I think I'm on this plateau. And that's not a sign of failure. It's a totally natural stage in learning a language. Once we put a name to it, we can come up with a real strategy to get past it.
So how do we actually get off this plateau? Let's talk about why swapping a word like important for paramount has such a huge effect on your score. It's really all about sending the right signals to the examiner, signals that you're a high-level user of English.
For so many of you, this is the magic number, a band 7, or maybe even higher. Well, using this kind of high-impact, nuanced vocabulary is, and I'm not exaggerating here, a non-negotiable key to unlocking that score. It's one of the clearest ways to show an examiner that you are operating at a truly advanced level.
Okay, so here's exactly what's going on under the hood. When you use a precise word, it shows you're not just trying to find an equivalent from your own language, you're thinking in English. It proves you have a much deeper understanding of the topic. And let's be honest, it makes what you say and write so much more interesting for the person who has to grade it. Every single one of these points feeds directly into a higher score for your lexical resource. All right, enough theory, let's get practical. I'm going to walk you through a super simple 3-step strategy to start finding and mastering the kind of words that really get you noticed. This is not about memorizing boring lists from a textbook. It's about building a powerful toolkit you can actually use. Our whole game plan rests on 3 pillars: deconstruct, discover, and integrate. I want you to start thinking of yourself as a word detective. First, we investigate the word. Then, we find it in its natural habitat. And finally, we put it to work on a case. So let's start with step 1, deconstruct. Deconstructing a word means going way deeper than just its dictionary definition. So you learn the word economy. Don't stop there. What's its family? You have economic policy. You have an economist. And, this is so important, you learn its collocations. These are the words it naturally likes to hang out with. For example, we talk about a thriving economy, not really a successful economy. Nailing these little pairings is the secret sauce to sounding really natural and fluent. Next up, it's time to go on a word safari. You got to find these words out in the wild. That means stepping away from the textbook and diving into real stuff, like news articles, documentaries, podcasts, whatever you find interesting. And here's a pro tip. When you see a new word, try to guess what it means from the context before you look it up. And keep a special notebook, your own personal advanced IELTS lexicon, where you write down all these cool words you find. It makes the learning so much more personal and effective. Okay, this last step, this is where the magic really happens. A word isn't really yours until you've actually used it. You have to actively try to weave your new vocabulary into your practice essays and speaking answers. A fantastic way to do this is something called the sentence bank method. For every new word, don't just write down the definition. Write down a full, powerful sentence using that word. A sentence you could actually imagine yourself using in the exam. This really cements the word and its usage in your brain.
And there you have it, a clear, actionable plan to get you climbing off that vocabulary plateau. Look, this isn't some magic trick or a quick fix. It's a real, sustainable way to grow your language skills that's going to help you way beyond just the IELTS exam.
The biggest thing I want you to take away is this shift in mindset. You're not just a student memorizing lists anymore. You're an explorer, an investigator, discovering this rich, amazing landscape of the English language. So embrace this process. Be curious, be active, and I promise you are going to see amazing results.
So let's start right now. Think of one simple word you know you use all the time. Good, interesting, bad, whatever it is. Now go find a more powerful, more precise alternative for it. What's the very first word you're going to deconstruct, discover, and integrate? Your path to that 7+ score begins right now with that single word.